Greetings, my name is Alexey, and in this third introduction video I want to talk about, basically introduce you to the game and talk about like what's the core of the gameplay in Hades Star and how the game basically works, so that you can understand like what to expect and basically how the game rolls. So this game has three currencies. It has credits right here, which is basically money. It has hydrogen fuel, which is similar to energy concept from mobile games, but it's way better than that. And there are crystals, which is the premium currency. You get a little bit of crystals you have every day, but if you want to have a significant amount of crystals, you will have to buy it with real money. Crystals can be exchanged for credits, hydrogen, or time. Like you can speed everything up by spending crystals like this. And also crystals can be used to buy artifacts. Like you can take this artifact by force by winning a mission, or you can buy it for crystals, but it's really not worth doing it. Basically you earn fuel mostly in a passive way. You earn fuel by mining. So you have miner ships and they mine your home system where fuel appears on asteroids, and you just like log into the game like once in several hours and send your miners to mine again, and they mine while you're offline. When they finish mining, you log in and send them to mine again, and that's how you get hydrogen. So you mostly get it passively. You can also take miners with you on the mission in Red Star, and you can then mine hydrogen there, but basically it will just make you spend less hydrogen in the mission. You won't get like profit, you won't get more hydrogen than you spent on the mission itself, but you will spend less hydrogen on the mission, and you will be doing it like most of the time. You will be actually doing it because that's like how you can play more. If you don't do it, you will only play for a certain time and then you will be out of fuel. And the credits are mostly earned actively, so you either move cargo around your planets, or you do missions, or you do PvP, white stars, and that's how you earn credits. And so the gameplay is mostly about solving mathematical puzzles, geometric puzzles, strategic puzzles, optimization puzzles, and it's very cleverly disguised as a computer game. But why I like it the most is that it's more than a game. It's really like this great puzzle which you can solve over and over, and the game keeps throwing harder puzzles at you, and like harder and harder and harder, and you keep figuring out solutions, and when you figure out solution, you progress to the next level, and then the game gives you a new puzzle to solve. Like for example, combat. Like you can do, let's show you. You can do a low-level mission. So this mission is just like 1 star in the middle, 6 sectors around it, 2 planets and 1 enemy on each planet. And that's the mission. And all you do in this mission is you kill like the enemy at the planet, which is easy to kill because your starting ship can kill this enemy and stay alive. You do that, you take the artifacts, you come back home. That's the game. So that's how the game begins. Later, like after this level of difficulty, when you get used to solving this kind of puzzle, like for example, the enemy can be on the edge and you either move to the edge and wait for him to come, or you move towards the enemy. You learn how the enemy intercepts your movement. Like for example, if I would send my transport here, the transport would go through the sector here because it moves to the bottom of the planet, and then this enemy would come here and kill it. You learn certain stuff like this. But for example, if he would move his transport here, the transport would go below this sector because it goes under the planet, and this enemy would not react. So you learn things like this by doing these starter missions, and then the missions become more complex. So the next kind of mission, it's the same kind of map, but there are more stronger enemies. So the game teaches you to fight complex enemies. The game gives you more tools, like you receive a shield on your battleship. Now you can have more damage before you die, and you learn to navigate like 2 enemies at once. You learn that there are tanky enemies and weak but DPS kind of enemies. And then you go past that, the game gets even more complex. So here's how the level 2 looks like. So you have like 2 enemies here. And if like the player comes from this direction, he will have to kill this enemy first. And this enemy has 7000 HP but only 60 DPS. Well, this has 700 HP but 200 DPS. Obviously you want to kill this one first. But you cannot, because the ship will fire on whatever it encounters. So if you move from here to here, you will start shooting at this guy. What do? You learn to kite the enemies. For example, you can move here, he moves here, you move away. And then you come like here and attack from the behind. Or you can move like here, then move here, then here, and then move here and kill this enemy first. You learn to do that. When you learned that, the game will give you even stronger missions, like the map becomes bigger. Let me show you. It should be a level, yeah, level 3 here. So then the game becomes like, the map becomes bigger, there are more enemies, like there are like 4 enemies at once, like this. Like, let me show you how he deals with it. So this is an easy grab for him because he can just kill the DPS and then the tank. And now he has to think. Like you can see here, he pulls them. He cannot attack them head on because he will have to fight a tank. So he pulls them here. He stuns them with his ability. Now his second ship can fire without being fired at. Like only this one enemy is active. The enemies are disabled for a short time. So here he, like this enemy has to continue his move. So he can fight this one-on-one. This ship can escape and so on and so forth. So this way he kills all the enemies without losing a ship. So that's like a more complex puzzle. And then you get like you get missions like level 6, which are way more complex, like level 4 for example. At level 4 you have ships which can fire at every ship around them like this, and which can pursue outside of their sector. So you can like get killed by those enemies. Those enemies can hunt your squishy targets and kill them. And so let me show you. Like here we have even more enemies, we have new types of enemies, and so on and so forth. So this is how the combat works. For cargo movement, for example, you saw in my tutorial that I just moved cargo between 2 planets. Then you get a 3rd planet, you move cargo between 3 planets. Then you get a 4th planet, and as you can see, I've botched this myself. I placed this planet. I didn't know about how the planets work, how the planet scanning works, so I did it blindly, and I ended up with a planet here and here. It was not an efficient placement. That's why I made a tutorial video, so that you don't make the same mistake. So first you move between 2 planets, then 3 planets, and 4 planets. Then 5 planets, and here you have to really like move your cargo around in a clever way to save on fuel. Then after you figure this out, you get a modules like this. Like first you just move the cargo when you want. Now you have modules which are like, the cooldown is like 12 hours and it boosts your like reward significantly. Like first you get just a module which just boosts your reward by like 8%. Like even before that, like first you move the cargo manually, you pick it up by this, and then you move it, you offload it, but then you get this module which picks the cargo for you, and you have to learn to use it because it actually doesn't work like you want it to work. So you learn to use this module, and you start moving the cargo around automatically, like you just click waypoints and it moves. Then you get these kind of modules, like this one which gives you extra money, or a moment, I'm pressing the wrong button here, or this module which makes you get more money, but you first have to deliver several amount of shipments before you start to get this bonus money. So you have to do that. At first you can only use one of those modules because you can only install like this computer module which automatically picks up stuff, and one of them. Then you get more slots, you can install 2 of them, it gets more complicated. Then you get these warp lanes, so you get to build a pair of portals, and you can move between those portals for free. So for example, I had these planets in my system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I had to move around all this, and then I placed a portal line here, so now these planets are connected. So before the portals, this planet had to go all the way here, a long trip, and from here to here as well, but now I can move quickly between these two planets, and now these two planets are kinda like, essentially they are even closer together than those two. And then you get more portals to place and more planets, and you get more complex grid of like planets. Like at first you just deliver stuff, like you move here, then back here. You just go pick up stuff towards one of the planets, move there, pick up stuff towards one of the next, and you like keep moving like this. And then you start to optimize it. Like right now I will position all my cargo which goes towards these planets in this sector. I will move them from all these planets here. I won't deliver them immediately, I will just stockpile them so that cargo to this planet is on these two, cargo to this planet is on these two, and so on. And then I can move them all at once so that in the time this module is active, in a short window, I'll deliver all the cargo and get the maximum payout. Also, then you get like the shipment drone, which is this body right here. And this thing automatically delivers shipments, but only if they are connected by the warp. So you can deliver all these planets automatically without doing anything. You only have to move this cargo, like I have to move this cargo from here to here on one of these planets, and the drone will do the rest. So the game keeps giving you more and more puzzles to solve. Later in the game you get even more planets, it's another puzzle, and you keep solving those puzzles. The PvP in this game is a very slow-paced game where like the time passes very slowly. Like you can see, like in 1 hour the ships will move a little bit, 1 more hour a little bit more. So you join this game and it picks your opponents based on basically how far you are in the game, how many technology have you unlocked, how much have you developed your system. So you start playing like at low levels, then you get to higher levels, and so on and so forth. So this gets more complicated as well. And so this game is all about basically solving these puzzles. Like even when you're not playing the game, you think about it like, what can I do better? Like how can I like deliver my shipments more efficiently? How can I like do the missions more efficiently? You keep getting more slots on your transports. Like right now I can carry 12 slots. So obviously if you have a little amount of slots, you can just move around the planets like this. Like you are here, you pick up like free cargo to this planet and you move it, that's fine. But if you have 12 slots, you're wasting a lot of empty space if you do that. And you waste a lot of hydrogen if you do that. So you have to think like, what else will I pick up? Like, will I pick up all this cargo here and just move it here so that later it's closer to the destination? If I want to move from here to here, I can also pick up this cargo with me and then offload it here. Next time the ship doesn't have to come here to move to this location, it can pick it from here. So it gets more and more complicated. And so basically that's the game. You play the game in short bursts, as any mobile game. When you have a time like 15 minutes, you can play one mission, one red star mission. If you don't have that much time, you can just move shipments around, you can like think about how to solve something. You can like check your PvP match and see if you can do different moves. And you can just like keep researching artifacts and so on and so forth. So that's how the game works, and you keep earning credits by playing the game. You keep earning hydrogen passively mostly, and credits by shipments, by missions, by white stars, red stars. And you spend the credits to upgrade. You get more slots on your ships to get more like difference between your ships, like to get more customized ships. You get more tactics, like for example at first your battleship doesn't have any slots here. So at first your battleship simply goes and fires at the enemy, and if it dies, that's it, you have to buy a new battleship. Then you can install a support module, for example EMP will stun everything around it, so you can now fight enemies way more efficiently. Like one of your ships goes in, stuns everything, second ship goes in and just keeps firing at the enemy which doesn't retaliate. That's very good. Then you can get Sanctuary, which makes your ship survive death. Like a ship of Sanctuary will just jump back to your system when it's killed. So first of all, you don't have to move your ships back to the portal now. You can just leave them somewhere and they will be back at your home system. So you don't have to spend hydrogen to get your ships back. And secondly, you can risk more. Like you can do risky moves, and if you lose your ship, you don't have to pay anything. Then you get even more modules, like for example, if you look at this White Star match, some enemies will have like way better level. Like he has 4 modules. He can teleport, he can use barrier, which stops enemy movement around him. He can use Destiny, which deals a huge damage around his ship. And he also has this Sanctuary to save himself. This dude, he can jump towards his ally. He can again stop movement around himself. He can use Destiny to deal damage around himself and so on. So you get more complicated gameplay as you go on through the game. You develop more. And that's basically like it. As you go on, the game takes like more time to develop. Like at first, one level of technology will take you like 4 hours to unlock, maybe 8 hours, 12 hours. Later, it will take you like 2 days, 4 days. Like the most I have right now is 4 days, I think. Let me see. 2 days here, 3 days here. Yeah, so it's like 3 days, then it gets to 4 days, 5 days. And it's a maximum of 7 days. Oh yeah, it's 4 days here. So the game gets a bit slower, but at the same time, like it gets more interesting and you have more stuff to do. Like at start you can only upgrade your fleet planets. Now I can upgrade all these planets. So it takes longer to upgrade one planet, but I can upgrade more planets, so I still basically can upgrade the same amount of planets over time because of that. So yeah, that's Hades Star for you. From this time on, I will make specific videos about how to play the game, about certain mechanics of the game. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!